I guess taking on, let's say, some of the other musicians in the group. So you're drumming. Who is the actual drummer in the original Left Banke?
Oh, George.
Really? Okay.
George taught me everything I know. He taught me exactly how to play Left Banke style drums. Thanks, George.
Well, that one must have been really handy then, having and Tom, you're on bass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you write out all the bass lines, or was Mike
No.
Brown was like, here?
No, I wrote some of the bass parts. Like I wrote the part to She May Call You Up Tonight. And I was only playing the bass for about 6 months at the time.
Yeah.
And so I copied Paul McCartney's song, You Won't See Me. When I call you up, your lines engage. When I boom, 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 boom. And I put it on, She May Call You Up Tonight. And that's what we notated with the arranger, and that's what the bass player, the studio man, played. Because they wouldn't put us on the sessions, because you have to remember, in those days, it was the time where you had the studio for 3 hours. It was very expensive. You had strings, you had horns, you had everything, and you had to be spot on. You had to be really good. You had to borrow your phrase. You had to be right on. And we were not playing long enough. We were only 18, 17 years old, so we couldn't play our instruments that well around the first album time. By the time of the second album, we played on mostly all the songs.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how did it actually work in the studio? At least for the second album, would you guys go in and you would lay down the basic parts, drums, guitar,
bass, drums,
session?
guitar, and piano, just like that.
All right.
And a lot of the times I would go to Charlie to get, Charlie helped me write out the bass part for a song or two on that album. And I brought in Steve Tyler from Aerosmith.
That's right. I know he has a history with you.
Yeah, he wasn't in Aerosmith then.
Yeah.
He sings backing vocals for...
He sang backing vocals on My Friend Today and Dark as the Bark.
Yeah, that was really interesting to hear that. And when Michael Brown left, it was mainly you two who wrote the song, most of the songs, right?
And Tom Fair.
That Steve Martin
Steve
Tom
Martin did
Fair.
some of the songs.
and Tom Fair.
Tom Fair wrote songs too. Now,
Yeah.
don't forget that Tom Fair was Michael Brown's writing partner.
Okay.
Like he wrote Desiree with Mike Brown. You won't find Michael Brown.
He's a lyricist.
Yeah, he's a lyricist, exactly. But he also wrote Brian Hotel,
Yeah.
Goodbye Holly, he wrote the whole thing.
If you read those lyrics, they're like a poem.
Yeah,
They're just so great,
it's beautiful.
Yeah. He knows how to write great.
And so Tom Fair is a good lyricist and he's a good pop songwriter too. And so we did the second album with Tom, and George and I and Steve and Charlie would help me out with the bass lines and everything. And we did it. We played live and we did the songs. The only ones we didn't play on were Desiree. Again, that was a Michael Brown production.
I made the demo with him.
Charlie made
here
the
we
demo.
go. Here we go. That story. It's all right. It takes 10 years.
When was around the time when you guys were doing those, like, Things Go Better with Coca-Cola? And
Now, it's
all
funny you
those?
should say that. Because the guy who produced that is here tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
All our commercials, Ralph Affamato.
Yeah.
He's the guy that's been running around back and forth and getting the sound right and
Yeah.
everything.
He's the choir master.
He's the choir master at the
NYU.
Tisch School of the Arts.
Okay.
And he's a choir master. He's helping us with our vocals. We're going to sign on it and let him produce us. And so, yeah. But he produced those commercials. And that was the entire original Left Banke doing those commercials, too.
Wow.
See, he wanted us to help put the group back together again. So Ralph figured, if you guys can do a project, like it would be a lot of fun for all of you, then we can play together and, get to know one another again. So he said, why don't we all write a commercial, each one of us, and then we'll just go in and everybody will play on everybody's commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore there won't be any pressure or anything. It'll just be a lot of fun. And we did that. And Ralph produced it. And that's how the commercials came about.
The Coca-Cola one really is very resemblant to Desiree.
Desiree, yeah.
Was that, did he write that for it?
Michael.
Michael.
On a day like today
Yeah.
when you were down,
Yeah.
and there's no one you know that's a
I actually got the bootleg off of one of the
You?
sites. Yeah.
That's rare.
Is it? Yeah.
Coca-Cola. I don't know if Steve wrote the lyrics to that or not. I don't think so. Because when Steve writes a lyric, you can tell it's Steve Boy. Yeah, Steve doesn't pay too much attention to anything making sense lyrically. Like, I dark as the bark of the tree. You know, that's this Steve line for it, you know.
When you guys first started playing, was it kind of, did you go about it as like, hey, let's become, you know, a Baroque pop band on the radio? Was that always the intention, or you just wanted to play music? Like
We just want to play music.
That's right.
It happened because it happened the way it happened.
It happened the way it happened because Michael Brown was our piano player. And the only reason he's our piano player is his father, who we were auditioning for, said, my son wants to be in the group. So it was choice of recording, and his son is in the group or not. And so we said, okay, your son's in the group then. And so Michael played only like a classical style and a little bit of pop, but we were like totally into the Beatles and the Kinks and the Who and so we used to stand around the piano and like push him. And like we wrote together. A lot of those songs.
People who study music can't jam, can't do anything. So you got
A lot of those songs were not all written by Mike Brown. That was all of us like screaming at Mike Brown, do this, do that.
Yeah.
But he had his tape recorder running, and he was a smart guy, you know.
Yeah.
And his father was the producer.
And his father was the producer, and they just socked it away and screwed us, but good.
His father was a composer too, right?
No.
No?
He's a violinist.
He was a
Violinist?
session guy.
Session guy.
What's that?
Oh, he knows.
He's on a lot of albums. From
Yeah,
the
they
50s.
screwed us. Well, the father screwed us. He took all our money, whatever we were making.
He's like a Murray Wilson kind of type of guy.
It's a good
So-
parallel.
So let's see. How did you come about becoming the new singer?
I'm not sure.
He's talking to Mike Fornatell right
That's
now.
right, Mark.
I'm not sure exactly how it happened. I know that Tom Fair had seen a video of me singing at the Losers Lounge, which is a series of tribute shows in New York. And there was a Bacharach show, and I sang Any Day Now, the Chuck Jackson song, which Bacharach had written. And Tom posted on the Facebook page, the same one that George was talking about, that we're getting together the Left Banke again. So I sent him an email. I don't know the guy from Adam. I still don't. And I said, if you need, I didn't know who was involved. So if you need a utility player, I can sing background vocals, I can play guitar. And I didn't know Steve wasn't involved. So the next thing I know is I get an email from Tom saying, let me think about it. And he answered me, wow. And then I get another email about a week later saying, meanwhile, Tom Fair has talked to him and said, oh, I've seen that guy, he's good. So it was just really a series of accidents. And he sends me another email saying, oh, we don't need any utility players, but would you like to be the singer? I'm sitting there looking at the computer going, Wendy, come in here.
I would love to see your
Tell me
face.
what this says.
Oh my gosh.
And then he brought me down to a rehearsal. And I don't think the rest of these guys really knew why I was there.
Yeah, that's the truth. Thanks, see? That's this guy.
Who's this guy complaining about my Marshall, man?
Yeah, I walked into this little dungeon, this little cement dungeon. He's standing in front of this green Marshall. And I went, oh, no. This isn't a good idea.
Do you practice in someone's basement, or do you have?
No, I keep trying to get them to come to my basement,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they won't.
It's in New Jersey.
We've moved.
You know, Jersey. Yeah.
They would hate to have to split that commuting costs 6 ways, but they don't mind me splitting it 1 way.
I would love to come to that.
How about finding those guitar effects that were? Who was the original guitarist in the Left?
There's
was
two
a
of them,
revolving
Jeff
door.
Winfield and Rick Brand. So you're talking about Lazy Day, right? The fuzz box
Yeah.
and everything? Yeah, that was Jeff Winfield.
Are they
That's
still
my
around?
fuzzbox.
Jeff died about 2 years ago.
Yes.
Shame.
It's just straight up, Fender a couple of boxes. I try to keep it simple as possible. And he has the Magic Fuzz box.
That's an
Which is
old
an
Maestro,
original.
yeah. It's the same one Keith used.
Yeah.
An old fuzz box, like what Keith used on Satisfaction.
And it's great to see a bassist still having the muffler on, and your licks are amazing.
I had somebody make me that bass, actually. It's the first time I'm playing it. Yeah.
Yeah, at a show, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I want to ask you if you have any memory, your favorite memory of being in the Left Banke before the band started to have, quarreling. And
you're asking
like,
the
what
right
is your
guy here.
both of you guys your favorite memory for being in the band?
When the three of us first just got together and started singing, that was the best time for me. Because that's all we wanted to do. We just sang, wrote. It was like, you know, you're around an acoustic. It wasn't a band, you know. We were just singing and doing things. And that was great.
It was like, for me, it was like, I had a drummer that was hanging out with me, and we were looking to put a band together. And I'm the one who invited Steve and George to come up to the World United studio and audition for Harry Lukoski. And so the best of the moment was for me when we would, all five of us, Warren, myself, George, and Steve and Mike Brown, would be standing together and like walking down the street together and feeling like, hey, we're part of something, you know. We're in a group together, and aren't we good? We sing great, we look great, and you know, it's just a great feeling. It's like to be alive in the 60s, to be young, and to be a little bit hipper than everybody else, we thought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who was picking out those outfits for your albums? Did you have a
Well,
Which
you
one?
guys
Those
with the,
English albums?
you know,
Yeah.
when we started making a few bucks, they just took us into a store called
I
the
think
Paul
he's talking
Sergeant.
about that second album.
Oh, you mean the
With the
fancy?
reflection
Oh, we got that at
and
a
the
costume company.
that's a great.
And now we had fun doing that. Yeah.
I tried to convince them to bring those back for the curtain crew. But
Yeah.
They didn't want to do that.
He's got it.
He's got it.
He's got it.
Part of the daily thing.
And you know our guy Mickey Finn there.
That's right. Make
Best
it
bass
thin.
piano
I
player
grew
around.
Mostly on harpsichord and piano. And so you had to also just listen and just get Michael Brown's like playing style.
Yeah, definitely to get into his head. I mean, anytime you take on a group that has a catalog of anything, and you have to play somebody and fill in or do that sort of thing. Yeah, you got to sort of get in there and figure out what are they doing. And
What was the hardest one to get?
that's a good question. I think Evening Gown.
Evening
Yeah.
Gown, I was just gonna say that.
It's a goofy sort of.
It's really tough to play.
Very fast.
Yeah, it's very fast.
And jazz. It's like a jazz. It's a weird mix of jazz and pop and rock.
So I see you guys are itching to get out. Just one more thing. I know, I understand. The new album.
Yeah.
Any comment on that? Any
Is Ralph still here? He left.
He's left.
production on that?
Yeah. No, we don't have any comment on that now.
Yeah.
But all I can say is that we are developing new material as we speak. You heard one song tonight,
That's great.
and there's going to be more, and not all of them are going to be so, hard rocking. A lot of them are just going to be, baroque, and you'll see. It'll be out.
All right. So I think that
Thank you.
covers
By the
our-
way, you remind me of a young Mike Brown. By the way.
Really? Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not a compliment.
no.
No.
Oh,
Doesn't
don't
he a
let
little
me-
bit?
Yeah, he does.
All right. Well, I'll take it as a compliment.
It is.
I'm a songwriter, so
Yeah.
I'll take that as a.
I met your mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
we were talking. She's
Yeah. She turned me on to you guys for
right.
with
Really?
Pretty Ballerina. And
Wow.
From there, it was like click. I actually picked up a Hot Parts LP in.
That's hard to find.
That's
in
really.
Yeah, yeah.
I almost brought it. I
Oh,
forgot
did you post
to.
that on the site? Is
I
that
think I
what you
did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Let's wrap it up, guys.